Thanks so much, Narelle, for being with us today, and you're here to share with us your loss. Tell us what happened.
So when I was younger, when I was 8, my father tragically died of a heart attack while he was playing tennis. So that was something that nobody expected. He went off to tennis like a normal Tuesday night, and then I got up in the middle of the night. I'm like, why is Grandma here? And why this just doesn't seem right? So Grandma said, go see your mum, and went into Mum, and she was in her room, and basically then I had to wake my sister up to tell us the news that Dad had tragically died and he wouldn't be coming home. And then like dealt with a lot of other loss. My grandparents died when I was very young. My mum's parents both died very young as well, and then it just sent me into a sort of an emotional state. Like I became an emotional eater, and I was also, by the age of 15, I was also out of home on my own as well, with my mum not being around and my sister not being around and everything. So a lot of loss on my way, and then so I had to teach myself and put myself through a lot of things, and through high school and uni and so forth, and then and not being somebody who learnt from a loving family network or home to be able to know like the right way to eat and everything like this. So it spiraled me out into this sort of like I would just eat when I was bored. I would eat, and I wasn't eating the appropriate food. I can say I'm a sweet tooth. I love my cakes. I love my treats.
Who's not?
And I'm also a cake decorator as well. So it's one of those things. Put a sweet in front of me and I could eat it in a heartbeat. And then almost 4 years ago now, I did go on a journey with my trainer at the time of losing weight, and I lost about 15 kilos at that stage. And then my mum was in a nursing home at that stage, had been suffering from Alzheimer's. And then she unfortunately tragically went earlier than we expected, and so that sent me back in spiraling out of control, and got to the point I didn't care. I was just eating. I'd get home from work, I'd have a bowl of ice cream, I would be at work, I'd eat a block of chocolate. I would literally I would go for buckets of chips at work and stuff like that. And like I got to a really, really, like I was getting to a really, really low point, even though I had lots of people and support and friends at church and everything that would support me, and always saying they love me, and that I myself felt alone. I felt I was
isolated.
Isolated. I felt like nobody loved me, that I felt rejected, even though I had all these support networks around me, and yet I felt I was just in this little bubble of my own, and it felt easy. Food was comfort.
It was fulfilling.
Yeah, it fulfilled it. It helped me suppress all these emotions that I had that I didn't know how to deal with. So I'd come home from work, I would eat when I was bored. I would literally go out of my way to go to Max Brenner or go to an ice cream shop because I love ice cream, and I would always go to a restaurant. If I go out for tea for a restaurant, I would always go straight to the dessert menu, see what was on the dessert menu for me.
I did too.
And I got to a point this year where I was probably borderline almost depressed, and I just got to this very, very low point, and I had joined one of my really close friends asked me to join a gym with her last year, and I said, oh, okay, yep. And so I've been going to the gym, but was still using the gym as my way. Oh yeah, if I go to the gym and do a workout, I can still eat all this yummy food that I love. And
it doesn't fix inside.
No, it doesn't. So in about February this year, my friend, one of my close friends, she's actually probably one of my best friends, she was working, she actually ended up getting a job at Fernwood in sales, and she actually said to me, why don't you do the Fernwood 12-week challenge? I'm like, I don't know, it was quite a lot of money and so forth. And so I went away and thought about it, and I really, for like 3 days, I just really could not get it out of my spirit. It was just like, I need to do this. I need to do this for myself. And you would know, I'm generally a person that I will go out of my way for everybody else. I'll do anything and everything for everybody else, but not do anything for myself. So I felt in my spirit that I needed to do this for myself. I needed to get myself, like, get the help that I needed. So I went back and I said to her, look, I need to do this.
Yeah.
And she goes, yeah, you do. And she said to me, she knew, the Holy Spirit had already spoken to her and said that I needed to do this. And so that was in March this year. So prior to that, I probably lost about 5 to 7 kilos.
Yeah.
With just working out. And
Yeah.
for me, going to the gym is easy. If I was told to be in the gym 5 hours a day, 7 days a week,
would
I would
do
be
it.
in the gym 5 days a week, 7 days a week.
Wow.
But the food for me was the hardest thing. And so during this 12-week challenge went on, and a lot of emotions, because I was not able to eat chocolate, I was not able to eat the foods that I would normally think, and because you're on a food plan and you've got a trainer and stuff like that. And so during it all, I literally probably about week 2 or 3, I literally just hit this emotional roller coaster ride that I would go to the gym, and I'd end up in the owner's office. She was brilliant. She was Christian, and I would literally just break down in tears, and I'm like, I don't know what to do, I don't know how to handle that, to get over this, and had to deal with all these emotions that I'd suppressed with food, and just the expectations that I had put on myself, but also other people put on me, because of I was always compared to people and other family members, and so I had to deal with all this stuff and this fear of what other people would think. I had this whole thing of like, okay, because I was picked on at school as well, because I wasn't a petite little kid. I was a bit of a chubby little kid, and so I was picked on, and I had to deal with all those sort of things that people, like, I felt that people had put on me, and so I had to, so lots of weeks and lots of talking with my trainer and talking with certain people and dealing with them, and
putting yourself, like, it's not selfish to take care of myself. No. You know, you take care of yourself, I can give more, you know?
So it was a great healing process, and look, I'm still on this journey, and I still have days where I'm like so stressed, and I get stressed, and things just happen in life that you can't control, and but I'm in a better place now that I can go, and I can go, okay, so I can, even though it may be stressful. And there's a great verse in Deuteronomy where it talks about, I'm going to try and make sure I don't get this wrong, but it's basically, the last line is, he will never leave us or forsake us, and God goes before us, and we're not to be afraid as we go on this journey. So I just to always keep reminding that in my head, and like, even after things have happened after the challenge that have caused stress in my life, and it's just, okay, I'm just like, I have to go, okay. Even though in the moment I'm like, I just want to run away and not deal with it. But
when did you start to realize, like, I want to make a change, I don't want to live that way? What is trigger inside to change?
So it would have been, so in the start of this year, I wasn't happy at work, I wasn't happy at home, like, things were just like, everything was just weighing down on me, and it was probably when my friend said to me, why don't you do this? And I think it was those 3 days where I just couldn't get out of my spirit, that I'm like, okay, I need to do this for myself, because I wasn't healthy. Like, I wasn't healthy physically, but I wasn't healthy mentally as well. So I needed to get to that point of, I need to go, okay, I need to change myself. And I knew I couldn't do it on my own. I needed to have a support network around me. So it would have been in February, and when we started, it was in March 7th, I think, around that time that we fully started. So it was probably more so around then.
And you think your mind was as well ready, so okay, I know it's going to be some bump on the way, but I'm going to do this. So for me. So that was exactly right. Like, it was just like, I had to go, okay, I know, like, I knew it was not going to be easy. I knew things were still going to get me down. And look, I went through this 12-week challenge, and I
I had injuries along the way, and I get very frustrated when I can't work out as hard as I want. So there's been lots of bumps on the way, but I have come out stronger, and I still came out of the challenge, and we're getting because they had celebrated with a massive big gala event, and I was actually in the running for one of the national titles for the lean machine, because I was a lean machine for our Fernwood.
We've got a champion there.
But look, I didn't win, and it didn't bother me at that stage. At the start of the challenge, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to get out, I'm going to win this. I was all for I'm going to win it, and I was all set that, But going through the challenge and having to deal with all these emotions, I had to let go of disappointment, because I had a lot of disappointment in my life, and it was just like, it didn't bother me if I won or not. It didn't bother me. Like, it would have been nice. It would have been nice to win all the prizes.
So you were in a good place.
But I was in a good place, and I had done the healing that I'm like, okay, I just got to take one step at a time, and so on the challenge I lost almost about 13 kilos, and I lost like 80 centimeters off my body, but since then, since my heaviest, I've just this week just reached 27.5 kilos gone, and I'm currently in another challenge, which is a bit more boot camp based challenge, but I'm loving it, I'm enjoying it, and it's still a journey, and I'm still on it. I've still got weight to go, and I've still got some goals that I want to reach, but
you will get there.
I'll get there. I know, it's just one step in front of the other, one step at a time, and look, I've had setbacks. I injured my back after the challenge, and I've done my back before, but this is a bit different this time, and it is taking time, so I can't work out as hard as I would like, and I've had to take a step back, and it's like, okay, well, things my trainer says to me, it's exactly what I say to my patients when I'm at work, and I'm like, okay, she's preaching to the, so it's like, I'm just getting it right back at me. It's like, okay, so but
so good. And if you have someone who's going through or has been through the same and still grieving years after, what would you tell them? What encouragement would you say?
Yeah, look, grief is a journey, and it's something that for everybody is different, the way that they go through it, and they respond to it, and they will try and fix it in different ways. And look, I say to people, look, you just got to take one day at a time, and talk to people about your grief too. It's not it's not it happens, and I think we have to talk about it with people so that we can begin the healing. It's not like when somebody dies in your life, it's not something that you cause, it's not something that's your fault. I thought at one point I had little fleeting thoughts in my head at some points that what did I do that caused my dad to die or my mum to die earlier than expected? And it's just like, I'm like, okay, well, it's actually not my fault. It's not something that I have to carry. I just have to go through it. And look, I still have days where I'm sad. I still have days where I miss my mum and my dad. And
that's human being.
It's human. And I am human. And I'm not perfect, but it's normal for me. But I'm like, okay, I think for me as well, I've learnt, look, I knew, and everybody would say, oh, look, I had my Heavenly Father in heaven, and it's just like, well, I don't know how to feel the love of a Heavenly Father, because I've never really experienced that, but along my journey, I've had family, Christian family that come around me and have been like families to me, and have shown me that love, and it's just, I think for me, I just have to keep going, okay, God, I know you love me, and I know you're going to help me every step of the way, and I just try and rely on that, and I talk to people when I'm not right, and let them give me wisdom as well, and so forth. So
that's so good. So how are you doing today? I know you lost weight, but how is it going on inside?
I'm going really well. Everybody keeps coming up to me and saying, look, how good I look and stuff, and I'm so proud of myself, because I've never stuck at anything this long. I've never gone. So I'm surprised at how I've gone and how I've become. I was not expecting to lose this much amount of weight in such a short period of time. But I'm happy, I'm healthy. My skin's a lot better, and my body is a lot better. I've got other injuries, old netball injuries and stuff, which are improving. So
doing very well.
Doing very well, and I'm a lot happier, and
oh, that's so good.
And looking forward to the future and what the future holds and stuff like that. So.
Well, we're exciting for you, and thanks so much for sharing that.